Midnight Echo, where real thoughts hit different after dark. Late night conversations, real talk. It's your host, DJ Dex Double X, and if you up right now, you already know what time it is. Let's echo in. What's good to my early birds and what's good to my night owls? It's the night owl himself, DJ Dex Double X, and this is What's Good Fam, the Midnight Echo. I want to welcome you to Season 2, Episode 3, titled While We Were Distracted. So before we get into tonight's episode, I just want to show some love real quick. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting me across all platforms. Much appreciated. Liking the posts, sharing the clips, reposting the content, leaving comments. I see y'all. Shout out to new followers, those that engage with the posts. I appreciate y'all, for real. I appreciate it more than you even know. Like, it really touches my heart, man. So I appreciate y'all wholeheartedly. And of course, I want to say a quick happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Give y'all a round of applause for y'all out here doing it. Raising whole families, because without y'all, there will be no us. So a quick shout out to my mother as well. Mama Dukes, love you much. Enjoy your day today, girl. But I can't forget Lil Sis. It's her birthday today as well. So shout out to Lil Sis. Happy birthday, Lil Sis. Love you as well. Enjoy your day. Keep doing your thing. She really out here doing it too. So shout out to Lil Sis. So I want to say quick reminder for everybody. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I just want to say it real quick for everybody that's dealing with this. Just want you to know that it's okay to ask for help. It's strong to get help. You matter, okay? I just want to bring up a quick note that I did do a podcast about this in season 1, the very first episode, the Echo Chamber, Men's Mental Health Awareness. So make sure y'all check that out as well, okay? So, all right, so you know, we gotta do the normal thing that we normally do. Get into what's called the Midnight Rotation. Now, for those of y'all that know what the Midnight Rotation is, it's new music in rotation. Late night ride music, lifestyle music, all of that. Not all of it is lifestyle music. But hey, I'm open to listening to new things, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into it real quick. So first up, we got Jimmy Waters, Player's Tuition. I've been listening to this for the last couple days, and I can't even lie, it's got that real get your grind, don't feel vibe to it. I've been a fan of Jimmy Waters for at least the last 4 years. I picked up on him back in 2022. I could just say, man, this is one solid album, man. It's smooth, real smooth. He's talking about that grind. I want to say he's right there on the Ellie Dollar when it comes down to consistency of mixtapes. So, hey, man, if anybody that's fans of Jimmy Waters, echo in. Tell me how you felt about the album, all right? I also been listening to my mans. They call him AP. Now, he just dropped a little 2-track EP, Love Me Too, but the first song that he has on that album, I see he sampled that Future is real dope. I like it. I like how he put that spin on it. So, shout out to that brother as well, man. So now this one's a little bit different. Like, this is my first time coming across this artist, and I can't say I've heard of him before, but I have heard of the producer, Cooking Soul. His name is ST Knack. Now, he's a Dominican Republic representative. So he dropped this album with Cooking Soul, and of course, shout out to Cooking Soul. He always has some of the dopest beats. Al and Ellis, and if I said that wrong, I apologize. But once again, it's Al and Ellis. All right, real smooth tracks. Of course, we all know how Cookie Soul do it. For those that listen to him, New York vibe right now. He's doing this thing with it. I love the album. I see my man ST Knack. He put his own Dominican spin on it. So hey, for those that have been listening to this man for the longest, y'all echo in. Let me know how y'all feel about him, man. Put me on to some new tracks. I want to see what else he be doing. All right. So of course we got Boldy James. Now I told y'all about this on the last episode, that I was going to talk about this album. I finally finished it, and all I can say is the bars that's coming from this album. It's wild. Even the production is wild. Like, some of the beats, though I would never think he would rap on some beats like this, he actually got on there and he ripped these beats. So, man, shout out to that man, Boldy James. Been listening to that for a little bit, too, as well. So, fans of Boldy James, if y'all listen to this album, echo in. Let's talk about it, all right? Now, it's another artist. He's not new. But I've been listening to him. He is known as Rob the Bank. Now he brought some tracks out like Pursuit and Money. That's been heavy in the rotation lately. I like his production. And he also did a project with Ozer, for those who listen to Ozer, called Paid in Full. Definitely been rock that whole album. Got a song there called Hoopty. It's it's for the summer. That's all I gotta say. If you outside, that's definitely the track list too when you outside. Hoopty. Now speaking of Ozer, he got some outside tracks as well, like Drive Slow and Parking Lot. I can honestly say I love Drive Slow because sometimes I get off work and I gotta play that song just to help myself decompress while I'm driving home. So shout out to both of them brothers, man. Both drop some solid music. So fans of these two, echo in with me, man. Let's talk about them as well, all right? And my man's Big Crit. Big Crit, the Mississippi representative, dropped the deluxe version of Dedicated to Caddy Ritz. I love the project. I've been bumping it for a while. I can honestly say, man, Crit, you back, man. So once again, he's having that concert June the 26th, and I will be in attendance. All I gotta say is I already know it's gonna be a slapping concert, so I'm ready. All right. So we also got Key Glock, dropped a new single called Go. That's definitely an outside banger as well. And you also got French Montana and Max B released that Smoking Part 2. I love that song as well. So both of these songs for outside. So all I gotta say is, they dropping them summer bangers. So let's get ready, all right? So that's the midnight rotation, all right? So whether you're riding through the city, on the highway, or just clearing your mind late at night, that's the midnight rotation, all right? Now let's get into tonight's conversation. The midnight thought. What if the real problem is what we're not paying attention to? So you open your phone, scroll for a few minutes, and you'll see the same thing. Arguments, relationship drama, people going back and forth, over and over again. And I know I talk about this a lot on some of the episodes I've been dropping as of lately. Especially with us continuously having these relationship arguments. Same things with the Q talking about. I'm just like, come on now. How much more of this are we going to keep asking? And, I want to say quick shout out to that brother, Tony Baker, because I see he's been doing the same on his pages as well. He's seeing some of these relationship clips, he'll play him for a certain amount, and he just come behind him and say, shut the hell up. And he's right. We need everybody to shut the hell up. Okay. We don't care anymore. It is what it is. We get it. And this ain't no shade to the other podcasts, YouTubers that are using these type of platforms to talk about the same issues and everything. Hey, get your money. That's all I can say. But I know as of me, and I'm seeing this a rising group of other people as well, we're getting tired of it. Because we have more important issues that are going on right now. It's like we'll spend hours reacting to things that don't change our lives at all. Cardi B's relationship, Megan Thee Stallion's relationship. Who makes more money? Who should do this? Who should do that? But we always ignore the things that do. Now, I'm not saying those things don't matter to the people that it's happening to. Once again, like I said, these celebrities and everything else, they're all ordinary people just like the rest of us. But like my man Lil Boogie said, and shout out to Lil Boogie as well, these rich nigga problems. Let them figure that out, all right? We got our own lives we got to worry about right now, especially with a lot of stuff that's been going on behind our backs or under our noses. But we shouldn't be focused on these things right now because we have some wild stuff going on behind closed doors. Because while we were locked in on that, real decisions are being made. Real changes are happening. Things that affect how we live, how we move, how we grow. And we all know what's going on right now with Congress, the Voters' Right Act being struck down even more. They've been chipping away at this for the longest, years, decades. And we'll go ahead and do a little quick history lesson. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 is a landmark U.S. federal law that prohibits racial discrimination in voting and was signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson on August 6, 1965. It outlawed discriminatory practices such as literacy tests and poll taxes, and included powerful enforcement mechanisms like Section 5 preclearance, which required certain jurisdictions with a history of voter suppression to obtain federal approval before changing voting laws. And that was big right there for black folks. But as we go further, key provisions include Section 2, which bans voting practices that deny or abridge the right to vote based on race or color nationwide, and special provisions targeting jurisdictions with documented patterns of discrimination. That law led to a dramatic increase in black voter registration, particularly in the South, with 250,000 new black voters registered by the end of 1965. Now, since 2013 up until now, it's been weakened by such Supreme Court decisions like Shelby County versus Holder, Brnovich versus Democratic National Committee 2021, and the Shelby County versus Holder was 2013. And then the latest one, Louisiana versus Callius 2026. Now, I don't know about y'all, but a lot of people are calling it returning it back to Jim Crow. Because of what it's done, we've seen an increase in southern states trying to pull the same move and draw new jurisdiction lines when it comes down to their state. And the latest one we had was in Memphis, Tennessee. I just want to say, man, quick shout out to my people in Memphis, Tennessee. But as of 3 days ago, things have gotten kind of wild out there due to the same thing happening, which was drawing a new congressional map that eliminates the state's only majority black district. It carves up Memphis, a city of over 1 million people, into 3 pieces. Now that's wild. Actually going online and seeing some of these people walking in with Trump flags draped around their necks like they're wearing flags, like they're superheroes or something. And to see the chaos that erupted with, people outside shouting, chanting, putting up a good fight. I was like, no, this is crazy. This is wild. And then just to turn around and see Alabama taking the same steps, because I was reading also the Alabama governor calls a special session to redraw congressional map and unseat 2 Democrats after the Supreme Court's voting rights ruling. And even right behind that, you got the Mississippi governor himself, Tate Reeves, saying he may do the same thing. See, starting to happen already, ladies and gentlemen. Now, there is some good news behind this. The one in Alabama didn't go through, so quick shout out to that for not happening. Black people still gonna have their rights to vote and everything. That's a beautiful thing to see, man. But just to see all this madness happening, even though as I keep reading, I see Alabama still trying. But I say all that just to say this, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, kings and queens, it's happening right now before our eyes. They're trying anything and everything to really set us back. It all started, of course, with this cops killing us left and right, throwing us in jail for bogus charges, racism that we have to experience every day, especially when we let this orange-faced sucker into office. And not to mention the things he's done to set black people back, attacking the Black History Museum, and in DEI, even though DEI really didn't affect us as much because we already see where that went to. Even going as far as trying to cut the black vote. Like, ladies and gentlemen, it's happening right now before our face. They are coming after us. No ifs and buts about it. They are coming after us. Because they're cutting our funding to everything. Funding for schools, HBCUs, ethnicity programs. Like I said before, they're trying to go after the Black History Museum. Going as far as to even try to cut our votes out. They're really trying to put this gigantic gap between us and them. And all we're worrying about is going 50-50. Or where we should go for a date, and it better not be Cheesecake Factory. Or what should be suitable wear for a woman to be outside with. Or what a man should be required to have once he meets a woman. All these relationship questions and stupid shit that we continuously argue about. I can't even say some of y'all are continuously worried about that has nothing to do with you. It's like, hey, listen, we have a lot of shit going on behind our backs right now. People are getting killed. We're losing out on access to wealth. It kind of just feels like the marathon we as black people were running. We were getting close, and then out of nowhere, it just took one thing to just knock us off course, and we just been stuck on that same thing for years. It's like, what else can we do to stop this issue? Is there anything we can do? I'm sure there is a lot of stuff we can do. One could be us coming back together and doing things like they were before. Like, I hate to say this, but when it comes down to my own people, it always takes certain events for us to start to come together. Either it deals with the racism, it deals with cops and death. I hate to say that, but even when COVID came around, like, I just seen so much of the solidarity that was going on while we was all on lockdown. Actually seeing people come together and put past beefs together. Even gangs was like, yo, man, let's go ahead and squash the beef right now. We got more important things we can worry about. COVID had a lot of people scared. And, now we got the hantavirus and the norovirus, as I'm recently reading right now, out. Like, perhaps another lockdown was to occur. And then what? Are we going to come together and be like, yo, there's been a lot of things been going on behind closed doors while we sitting here constantly complaining about something Kevin Samuels said, or Cardi B and Meg Stein's relationships and this whole hot girl BS and all this other stupid shit. When it's all said and done, like, yo, they're really trying to box this out. And it's already bad enough we have to deal with the own issues we have within our own community. But not to mention now we have some type of beef with the Hispanics, Latinos, Dominicans, Brazilians. Not to mention the issues we have internally. Because now I see we're beefing with Haitians. We're beefing with Somalians, Africans. I don't know how true it is. It could just be for shock sport. But I'm seeing over there in Africa, they hunt down African Americans. I don't know how true it is, so don't quote me on that. But I will go back and look for it. But just seeing that, and also seeing the internal issues we have within our own community, and knowing that right now it's us versus us. Everybody's on survival mode. This economy's crashing. We don't know what's going on. We basically have World War III going on. We still got Russia and Ukraine beefing and warring right now. Like, we got so much stuff going on. And now we got Jim Crow trying to rear his ugly head back again. And it hurts my soul even more when I see some of our very own brothers and sisters at some of these events where Donald Trump's going to be at, cheering and gloating about this man Donald Trump, as well as what's going on as far as the black votes, and they just sitting there cooning it up. Hey, I know I say I don't judge, but just seeing that, like seeing some of these videos of these black people at these events where Donald Trump is at, and they just going ape shit. They got their cameras out trying to take pictures. Not to mention some of these rappers and some of these movie actors that actually endorse Trump too, and watching it like it's a smack in the face. It's just like the same guy that is known for never keeping his word, but just using you as a way to get by, and then boom, here y'all are mad because he didn't keep his word. Just seeing so many of these Hispanics, they was up there, screaming, ranting, raving, and out of nowhere, ICE arrests started happening. Now they scared. Now they asking us for help. Like, hey, we don't know what to tell y'all, because as a whole, all black people knew not to vote for this man. And I feel like maybe in a slick sense, we do owe Kamala Harris an apology. And I could be the first to say that. Like, I was a little bit iffy about, her running the country, but I knew she was a much better vote than Donald Trump, because we already seen what has happened when this man got into office. So we ain't gonna sit here and act like we forgot about January 6th. You know what I'm saying? I still think about that. So I do want to send a quick shout out though to one of these Supreme Court judges. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong. Miss Ketanji Brown Jackson. Huge shout out to you, because you were one of the ones who actually tried to help, and I just want to say I appreciate your sister, you know what I'm saying? But a gigantic boo to Clarence Thomas, because like just looking at bro's face, you can tell, nah, I ain't even finna talk bad about him. I just want to know what his beef or what his issue is with black people, and for him to even just allow something like that to happen, that is beyond wild. So I'll just leave it at that. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Jim Crow, it's not here. It's not here. It's trying to come back, but it's here, because they already went out of the Voters' Right Act. Now, who's not to say they're not gonna try to go out the Civil Rights Act next, or anything that kind of slick but protects us as black people? Because before you know it, we might be back into how things were before, and then what are we gonna do? Organizations that we have tried to put together have not worked. We already seen what's happened with Black Lives Matter movement. That just, I don't even know to this day what happened and what was even the down. Well, know somewhat of the downfall, and I'm not going to say any speculations, but I just feel like when it comes down to us, if we all could just get on the same accord, and I know it's not going to be all of us because we've already seen that there are some or certain other black people who think opposite of what we think. But if at least a good, I want to say 90% of us could just come together as one with the same goal, the same intentions, to look out for one another, be able to help one another, be able to have access to wealth, being able to have our votes matter. If we could all just come together like how the Black Panthers came together, how you had people like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Fred Hampton, Huey P. Newton, Bobby Seale, people like that. If we could all really just come together like how they came together, how they was able to bring black people in as one. If we could really just do that, there's no telling what we could do, how far we could go, how much more we could do for one another and for ourselves as well, being able to rebuild another Tulsa. But it always just seems like it's always something that happens, man, and it hurts looking at it. It does. And then sometimes you get it. We're trying to just stay above, stay afloat. For my millennials, we've dealt with this before. You know what I'm saying? So we already know what it is and what it ain't. Just all I can say is to everybody, let's just finally come together. Let's just drop everything. As black people, let's just come back together. Because right now, all we have is each other. We might have some allies on other sides, but right now we have to really start depending on ourselves, start reaching our hands out for help. I wish we could go back to how it was in the 90s when we used to do the Million Man March to Washington, and talk about the issues that we're facing as a community. We can also have the Million Women's March, Million Black Women March too as well. They can get up on there and they can talk about the issues as well. Or we can have the Million Black People March. Everybody march up there to Washington, and we can just finally say enough of this and just try to do what we can to get things to just, benefit us better than what we're having right now. I'd definitely be down for something like that. I would. I would happily do something like that. But of course, I know it's going to be some fears behind it. It's always something that happens when we all come together in March. And it's a beautiful thing when we do. Of course, there's going to be things that's going to happen behind the scenes. There's going to be people trying to start riots and whatnot. But if we could really just come together as a collective and just do this, man, there's no telling how much change we can make. And I believe that should be the bigger picture right now for us as African Americans. But hey, that was my midnight thought. I just want to say, hey, thank y'all for stopping by and listening to you, boy. I get it. This right here is, for my brothers and sisters, and for those that are listening to it, and we all know that it's sad that this Voters' Right Act will affect a lot of people, but let's also be honest, we also know who is going to affect the most. So, gotta do like I normally do before I get up out of here. I gotta drop the socials. All right. So listen, make sure y'all echo in with your boy, man. Talk to me. Let me know how you feel about the episodes. And if you feel like maybe hopping on or, sharing some words of wisdom, just let me know. Echo in with your boy, all right? Got my DMs always open, so let's talk, all right? So first, we're going to go to Instagram. Now, on Instagram, you can find me as What's Good Fam _podcast. That's What's Good Fam _podcast. You can also find me on TikTok. You can find me on TikTok as What's Good Fam T.M.E. That's What's Good Fam T.M.E. All right. You can also find me on Threads. That's the same as Instagram. What's Good Fam _podcast. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, as What's Good Fam Entertainment. You can also find me on Facebook as What's Good Fam podcast page. That's What's Good Fam podcast page. You can also find me on YouTube as well as What's Good Fam, the Midnight Echo. Now listen, don't forget, click the link in the bio for my Spotify playlist, The Midnight Cruise Volume 1. Currently working on Volume 2 and almost done. So y'all just echo in with me, all right? Tell me how y'all feel about the playlist. And if you want to add something to it, let me know. Like I said, shoot me some new music. I'm always down to listen to some new music, all right? Let me know how y'all feel about the Midnight Rotation. And before we go, we got an announcement to make. Just seen that man, Ellie Dollar, is finna drop, or his newest album, The Midnight Club Volume 2. Oh, I'm excited. I am excited. I have been waiting for this man to drop this album for the absolute longest, man. Shout out to Ellie Dollar. You just made my night, brother. So, yo, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to crank this when I get off, and I will let y'all know about it on the next episode, all right? And if you follow me, don't forget to check the page, because I like to do songs of the day, albums of the night. So make sure y'all echo in, all right? Because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot of tracks off this album I'm going to make song of the night, all right? So if you got some songs you like to listen to, too, like I said, hit me up, echo in. Let's talk about it, all right? That's Midnight Echo, where thoughts don't sleep. If you felt this, you felt this. Stay solid, stay focused, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.